Artificial organs. They're not just something you see in sci-fi anymore, are they? Today's deep dive is going right to the forefront of artificial organs. It's all based on this How Artificial Organs Are Changing Medicine article. Like, imagine a heart, but it's outside the body. That's keeping someone alive. Wild
Right.
rest.
It's not just one thing, is it? Artificial organs are a whole range of medical, like, marvels, I guess you could say. It's any device,
Yeah.
whether that's mechanical or biological or even like a hybrid of the two. And it's designed to replace or support a real organ's function.
So like with a prosthetic limb.
Yeah, exactly. Prosthetic limbs have been around for a while, of course, but they're a great example of replacing a lost function. But there's so much new stuff, too. That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay, so we've got these artificial organs, but how do they even work? It feels like magic almost.
Well, it's science, but it's pretty close.
Yeah.
I think one of the most difficult things is getting the biomaterials right,
Yeah.
making materials that can work inside the human body without, like, setting off alarm bells.
Yeah, like our body is just rejecting them.
Exactly. They need to be strong, of course, but biocompatible, too. That just means they can exist with our own tissues without causing damage. You know, it's really interesting.
What's that?
We're actually looking at nature for answers. Like shark skin.
Shark skin. How does that even work?
It's all in the texture. Shark skin is really good at stopping bacteria from sticking to it and forming colonies. Researchers are trying to copy that texture and use it in artificial organs. That could be a big deal for reducing infections.
So we could solve one of the biggest problems with organ transplants, rejection, by using shark skin.
Exactly. And it's not just about stopping rejection. We can actually build organs from scratch now. We're talking tissue engineering, 3D bioprinting.
3D bioprinting, that's straight out of Star Trek. Are we really at the point of printing organs now?
Sort of. Think of it like building a house. 3D bioprinting is similar. But instead of bricks, we use living cells. It's layers and layers of precisely placed cells, so we can make really complex organ structures.
So like printing a heart valve? But what about something more complex, like a whole heart? Is that even possible?
Not quite a whole heart yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
Right now, we can print smaller tissues and structures, like heart valves, yeah. Maybe even parts of organs.
That's still pretty impressive though, right?
Yeah.
But printing the structure is one thing, but some organs need to actually like move to work properly. I mean, take the heart, for example. It needs to beat. How do you even start to like copy something as complex as a heartbeat?
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. Biology meets engineering. Microelectronics, robotics, all of that comes together to make devices that can mimic those complex biological processes. The total artificial heart is a perfect example, or TAH for short.
The TA.
Yeah, it's fully implantable, and it literally takes over from the patient's own heart.
So there are people walking around right now with artificial hearts.
That's right. And it's all thanks to these amazing materials, sensors, and tiny little microprocessors.
So these TAH things, they actually have tiny computers in them that keep the heart beating properly.
Exactly. These systems monitor and control the heartbeat in real time, making sure it adapts to what the body needs, just like a real heart.
That is incredible. So while someone's waiting for a transplant, this technology is keeping them alive and functioning.
It's a game changer, no doubt.
Yeah.
And speaking of life-saving tech, we can't forget about dialysis machines.
Oh yeah, dialysis.
They've been huge for people with kidney failure, acting like artificial kidneys to filter the blood.
Yeah, it's a lifesaver. But those machines are enormous. You're basically stuck in one place attached to it. Are they making progress on making them more, I don't know, practical?
For sure. Researchers are working on smaller, more portable dialysis units, even implantable artificial kidneys, to give patients their freedom back.
That would be amazing. What about other organs, like the liver? Are there artificial solutions for liver failure too?
Definitely. Liver support systems are another area where artificial organs are making a real difference. These systems can do the liver's job temporarily while a patient waits for a transplant or for their own liver to recover.
Like a bridge, keeping them going. How do they even mimic what a liver does, though? It just seems so complicated.
It's pretty amazing, actually. They use things called bioreactors, essentially mini livers that work outside the body.
Mini livers, wow.
Yeah. These bioreactors have living liver cells in them that filter out toxins from the blood, just like a normal liver would.
Okay, so we've covered hearts, kidneys, livers. What about restoring the senses? Are there artificial organs that could help people to see again? or hear again?
Absolutely. And that's some of the most exciting research happening right now.
Hmm.
Retinal implants, for example.
Hmm.
For people with some types of blindness, these implants can actually give them back some degree of vision.
Wait, so blind people can see again? How does that even work?
It's still early days.
Yeah.
But these implants use microelectronics to stimulate the healthy cells that are left in the retina. It's kind of like bypassing the damaged parts of the eye
Right.
and sending the signal straight to the brain.
So they might not see perfectly, but being able to see light and shapes, that's a huge deal. It's amazing to think about how all this is changing people's lives already.
It really is something. And it's moving so fast. What we've talked about today, it's really just the tip of the iceberg.
It makes you wonder what's next. What does the future hold for artificial organs?
Well, one of the most exciting areas is personalized medicine. Imagine not having to wait for a donor organ. What if we could grow an organ just for you, using your own cells?
No more organ rejection then.
Exactly.
How close are we to that, really?
It's getting closer all the time. With 3D bioprinting and stem cell research, it's not a matter of if anymore, it's when.
Wow. Feels like we're on the edge of something huge. What about artificial intelligence? Could AI have a role to play in all of this?
Absolutely. Imagine your artificial heart is talking to your fitness tracker, your smartwatch even, and to your doctor, all in real time, monitoring your activity, your stress levels, and adjusting how it works to keep you healthy.
It'd be like having a personal health expert right inside you. But what if something goes wrong? Who's responsible if there's a malfunction?
Those are good questions, and it shows why it's so important to talk about the ethics of all this.
I guess every time we make a big technological jump, we have to think about what could go wrong, too.
Exactly. But I'm optimistic. If we think carefully about the implications, and if we always put safety first, then we can use artificial organs to really improve people's lives for a long time to come.
Well, that's given us a lot to think about. From shark skin to personalized organs, the future of artificial organs is looking pretty wild.
It's a fascinating field for sure.
Thanks for joining us today, and for everyone listening. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a topic we think you'll find fascinating. Until then, keep those brains switched on.